Recorded Books and One Click Digital present Children of Earth and Sky by Gavriel Kay. Narrated by Simon Vance. For George Jonas and Edward L. Greenspan, who belong together here. Dear friends, lost. We were still at that first stage, still preparing to begin a journey, but we were changed nevertheless. We could see this in one another. We had changed, although we never moved, and one said, behold how we have aged, travelling from day to night only, neither forward nor sideward, and this seemed in a strange way miraculous. Louise Gluck. And all sway forward on the dangerous flood of history that never sleeps or dies, and held one moment burns the hand. W. H. Auden. Part 1. Chapter 1. It was with a sinking heart that the newly arrived ambassador from Ceresa grasped that the Emperor Rodolfo, famously eccentric, was serious about an experiment in court protocol. The Emperor liked experiments. Everyone knew that. It seemed the ambassador was to perform a triple obeisance 2 separate times when finally invited to approach the imperial throne. This was, the very tall official escorting him explained, to be done in the manner of those presented to Grand Caliph Gursu in a chariot. It was also, the courtier added thoughtfully, how the great Eastern emperors had been approached in long-ago days. Rodolfo was apparently now interested in the effect of such formal deference, observed and noted. And since Rodolfo was heir to those august figures of the past, it did make sense, didn't it? It did not, at all, was the ambassador's unvoiced opinion. He had no idea what this alleged effect was supposed to be. He smiled politely. He nodded. He adjusted his velvet robe. In the antechamber where they waited, he watched as a second court official, young, yellow-haired, enthusiastically demonstrated the salutations. His knees hurt with anticipatory pain. His back hurt. He was aware that, carrying evidence of prosperity about his midriff, he was likely to look foolish each time he prostrated himself or rose to his feet. Rodolfo, Jad's holy emperor, had sat the throne here for 30 years. You would never want to call him foolish. He had many of the world's foremost artists, philosophers, alchemists at his court, performing experiments. But you needed to consider the man unpredictable and possibly irresponsible. This made him dangerous, of course. Orso Falerii, ambassador of the Republic of Ceresa, had had this made clear to him by the Council of 12 before he'd left to come here. He regarded the posting as a terrible hardship. It was formally an honour, of course, one of the 3 most distinguished foreign posts a Saraceni could be granted by the 12. It meant he might reasonably expect to become a member on his return if someone withdrew or died. But Orso Falerii loved his city of canals and bridges and palaces, especially his own, with a passion. In addition, there were extremely limited opportunities for acquiring more wealth at Obravich in this role. He was an emissary and an observer. It was understood that all other considerations in a man's life were suspended for the year, or possibly 2, that he was here. 2 years was a distressing thought. He hadn't been allowed to bring his mistress. His wife had declined to join him, of course. Falerii could have insisted she do so, but he wasn't nearly so self-abusive. No, he would have to discover, as best one might, what diversions there were in this windy northern city, far from Ceresa's canals, where songs of love drifted in the torch-lit night, and men and women, cloaked against evening's damp and sometimes masked, went about hidden from inquisitive eyes. Orso Falerii was willing to simulate an interest in discussing the nature of the soul with the Emperor's philosophers, or
Sample complete. Ready to continue?